Hello, I'm David Victor, President of American Educational Institute. I'm here on set just before we're about to start taping our talk with David Mandell. David is recognizable to many of you. He's been with AEI now for, we just talked about this, 7 years. And David is a principal and a founder of the OJM Group. David is an attorney, an MBA, and his practice, and he in particular, specialize in wealth management, primarily for physicians, as well as risk management and a related topic, an important related topic, asset protection. And indeed, that's what David is going to speak about in just a few minutes. But I thought before he does so, we get a just quick overview of the topic and some of the issues David is going to hit. So David, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you tell our folks what this, in broad terms, is going to cover?
Well, it really addresses the concern I think a lot of doctors have, which is, what happens if things go wrong? Could I have liability, and what can I do to potentially protect against that? And the two kind of subtopics that I'm going to talk about are risk management, which is behavior-based, a couple of ideas on how, on a particular topic, you might be able to reduce risk. And then in general, asset protection, which is really more of a legal discipline, which is how to set up your affairs so if there ever is liability, you're not just blowing in the wind, you've got some good ways to protect yourself.
Got it. So I wonder if you could tick off sort of the top 5, 6 practice risks that the typical practitioner faces.
Well, certainly number one would be medical malpractice. That's what's on the minds of every doc. And depending on the specialty, it could be a really serious or significant type of risk, OBGYNs and others, radiology, like I talked about in the past. Also, if they are employers, for those of your listeners and viewers who have their own private practice and they have employees, that's a whole nother set of risks. If they have real estate, they can have slip and falls and all sorts of kind of premises liability. And one of the newer risks, say new, but now that I've been practicing 22 years, it's relatively new, is HIPAA. And every medical practice and every hospital is now dealing with that because the release of HIPAA information is an actionable item, and patients can sue on that, and there's liability out there.
Good. So it's a little scary, but I know you have techniques for not just reducing risk, but more the focus, I think, of this talk is how to protect assets, both personal and professional, against the financial exposure that attends these risks. Can you give the audience an idea of some of the techniques you're going to cover, obviously in greater depth
Sure.
in the upcoming talk?
Yeah, so I'm going to go through what I call the sliding scale of asset protection. And when I go through the talk, there'll be a good graphic and folks will be able to see it, but it really lists out all the different potential tools. Some of the ones are really legal tools, meaning they're things you go to a lawyer for, like limited liability companies, limited partnerships, certain types of trusts. The other really key tools are what are called state or federally exempt assets. And the nice thing about those is that they protect the best, and you don't need to pay a lawyer for them. What viewers really need to understand is, what are the exempt assets in my state? Because they vary a lot, but once you have a good handle on those, at least you can take the step to implement those in your planning.
Right. Great. And I know there's others as well, because I've read the outline, and you will hit the ones you just discussed, as well as the others in much greater detail and depth in just a few minutes. Thank you for the quick review.
Sure.
I encourage you all to watch David's full lecture. It'll be part of the 2019-2020 Medical Dental Legal Update, which will begin airing the beginning of October of this year, 2019. Thanks very much, and we hope you attend the talk.